Alright, welcome to the stream. So I just put a video out there. I might have misunderstood something with certain things, but anyways, I have isolated the actual thing, and I am right. I am right because I'm going to show you right now. So the difference between the Kingbreaker's pulsed flatline there that gives you 20%, and I've got a machine gun that has flatline on it, just regular flatline. It has 15% instead of 20. Okay, now watch this. Watch very carefully. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so first we'll do the Kingbreaker. Now I've instead of using the because I was trying to narrow this down, completely narrowing it down. So I'm not going to use the laser pointer just in case that could be the problem or that could be the cause. I know it's pulse, but I just wanted to do this without using the laser pointer by just using regular pulse to make sure that it still works, or it is working. So 42,000, now we're going to pulse. 50,000. Boom, 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 yep. Wait till that runs out so that we don't interfere with anything. Okay, switching over to the one that has just flatline on it. Damage. Pulse time. Now it's doing 48,000. So yes, I have destroyed that myth once and for all. It is flatline, and it is perfect flatline that is giving you the extra damage with your skills. Thank you for shopping at Walmart. I told you. I've been playing around with this. And I have taken off, just in case it was that, I have taken off the damage, extra damage that you get with your specializations. I've done that. So I've went a step further to completely isolate this. And I've come to the conclusion that yes, indeed, it is flatline, and it is perfect flatline that is giving you the skill damage. It's not really skill damage, you're just activating the talent and you're getting the extra damage. So technically it's not really skill damage. You're just getting damage off the talent. Which is really funny. I'm sorry, like when I saw this, like when I saw a video get posted about that, saying, "Oh yeah, you're getting skill damage." I'm like, "No, you're not." But we're gonna go test that theory and prove it wrong, because I know it's not. Because I was an avid user of doing that stuff, right? So I knew about this, and actually I didn't mention I knew where it was coming from all along, for a long time since it came out, since Flatline came out, because it was doing well, they both came in at the same time, right? You had a perfect Flatline and Flatline, but it's always been doing that because I incorporate that into my skill builds. Just in case anybody ever realizes that. I always use the Kingbreaker with skill builds. Now you know why. Now, I don't necessarily use it, so sometimes I use the capacitor, because, right, you get more skill damage doing it that way. But this isn't really skill damage. This is just like free damage from your talent. But I wanted to squash that. Hello, what's up, buddy? I just wanted to squash that problem. Let me just get this in here. Hold on a second. Alright. So yeah, so we have, there's like a 5% difference. Like you get the perfect flat line and then you get flat line. The difference is like 5%. One's 20, one's 15. Which coincides with the damage that's being put out. So yeah. Oh, and it does work. If it does work with seekers as well, right? If I pulse somebody and then throw a seeker at them, as long as I have that gun in my hand. If I'm using like a capacitor, obviously I'm not going to get anything extra, and I can't. You know what I mean? So, let's just do this. There we go. Oh, I forgot. I should wait. Wait, I'm going to wait to pulse again. Oh, I gotta go. Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Agent requesting backup. Agent in need of backup.
There we go. Trying to figure out what that loud noise was. Boo-doop. Let's see if we can increase it. Let's see if it works on the drone too. It should. But we'll find out in a minute. Yep, it does. This one just has flatline on it. This one has perfect flatline on it, so it's doing slightly more damage. I've already tested the theory out, the other theory too, where I just have a regular weapon and it doesn't have flatline on it or whatever, and it doesn't give more damage when you pulse. Therefore, flatline and perfect flatline are definitely what's giving you damage. So it is not skill damage that you're getting. It's just damage. You're just getting damage from your talent, which is not skill damage, because you get the same damage when you use your gun. Because I know that gets a lot of people excited when they're like, oh, extra skill damage. But most people are going to be like, like, you can just use a capacitor.
Agent requesting backup.
Right? Because you can. You'll get more skill damage that way. You'll get real skill damage that way. This is like it's like sugar and artificial sweeteners. That's a good comparison with these. One's the real thing, one's fake. You're still getting damage from it, but it's not the real deal. And it works with either. You can either put the technician, well, it's easier to just put the technician, well, I already have it on the gun, but I just didn't aim at the target. I just used regular pulse instead, just to prove it. And I've taken assault rifles right off my specialization, just to see if that was what was doing it. And it's still doing the same damage. Like when I pulse, it's still giving me that extra damage, regardless of the AR in my hand. And it doesn't change when I put that AR back on, like the extra 15% damage for the specialization, it still doesn't. So that, therefore, I can isolate it down to the talent. Because I've already had an AR that has nothing on it. Like, it has no flatline or anything on it. And it doesn't work. It doesn't give you extra damage when you pulse. So yeah, that one's busted. The reason why I say it's busted is because there's been a lot of people that have been misinformed, thinking that they're getting skill damage from the Kingbreaker, when it's just indeed just damage from the talent, which is not real. Like I said, the comparison between sugar and artificial sweeteners, it's not the real deal. It's not really skill build or skill damage. Your little talent on your gun. It's this bad boy right here. Perfect flatline. It doesn't say anything about skills, so this is probably not a natural thing that's supposed to happen. But you are getting a little bit of damage from it. It is actually coming from this. Because if it was coming from my AR, which I don't have on my specialization, I actually took it off just to prove this. I'm using weapons that that I don't even have activated. I did that for the purposes of showing this. That's how I was able to isolate this down to that talent. This one and flatline. Because the flatline I have is on the other one, on my other gun, is the machine gun. I just got flatline on that one. They both have the same thing on them as well. Damage to targets out of cover. Both of them have it. And I believe my machine gun also has damage to armor. So, and it's not actually giving me that's not actually giving me more damage when I pulse, right? So it's coinciding with the damages. So flatline is 15%, perfect is 20. You're seeing the difference with the two damages. Anything else we need to bust? There's quite a few things that I've noticed that I've been watching and very carefully, and what was the other one? I'm trying to remember now. It'll come to me. Anyways, yeah, there's a couple things that I think I've busted quite a few things in the past 2 months. When people have said like, "Oh, this does this," I'm like, "No, it doesn't." It's all been skill-based things too, as well, and like. I've got so much, like I've got 3,000, almost, yeah, I got 3,200 hours in the Division 2. God knows how much in the Division 1. Probably about the same. And that's all I was in the first division, was mostly skill builds. The only damage build that I normally used in the Division 1 was Predator's Mark. Other than that, I was like Firecrest all the way. Technician, or was it tactician? It was different. It wasn't the same. It was tactician. So I know all about skill builds. Like when I seen a couple of hardwired builds come out not long ago, I was like, that's horseshit. I can show you how to run that properly for maximum damage. Because I remember seeing this thing, and the guy was claiming to have all this damage. I'm like, let me show you my version. It's probably gonna fucking triple your damage. Basically, what I'm saying is, don't blow shit in my face, because it's not gonna work. Especially when it comes to something that I know a lot about. Like DPS, you might get me there, because I'm not like super specialized in that. But when it comes to skills, That's a different animal right there. That's my specialty. Especially when it's hardwired. Oh my god. I think I've mastered that friggin' gear set. Now, I haven't really tried hardwire since the Ninja backpack came out, but really, if you want to be speedy with hardwired, you gotta have the backpack, right? So the Ninja backpack doesn't make sense there. I mean, you could. You're just gonna have like slower times, right? You're not gonna be able to super spam unless you incorporate. I don't think I have it on. Oh yes, I do. Unless you incorporate this guy right here, Caesar's Guard. Now this is a glitched out Caesar's Guard because this is not supposed to be like this. This came after the patch. I was farming for Empress International and I accidentally got a Caesar's Guard that was rolled into a red. It was already rolled this way. I haven't even touched this yet. Like, this is untouched. It has crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and weapon damage. It's supposed to be a yellow. So this is one of the Caesar Guard's glitched out pieces. There's another one too. It has no attributes on it. It just has the brand set bonus and the talent. So there's two versions of this that are glitched that you could possibly get. Now obviously the other one's going to suck because you're not going to get anything for it, right? If it just has the talent and the brand set bonuses, that means it has no attribute on it. Like, it has no attributes on it. That sucks, right? There isn't even if I'm correct on this, I'm pretty sure I am. I got to remember if I took a screenshot or not. I'm going to have to look later. I'm pretty sure there isn't even a thing on it. Like, you can't even put a mod on it as well. I don't think I saw a mod slot at all for it. So it's completely glitched out. There's two pieces. This is one of them. Because everybody knows that this stuff always comes as a yellow. It doesn't come as a red or a blue. It's always yellow. I'm sure they're gonna fix that. Like, I don't know when. I would assume that they could possibly be bringing out a patch tomorrow. They're gonna probably want to do it as soon as possible, right? Because if they don't do it soon, people are gonna get mad. But anyways, if you're not gonna use the backpack for hardwired, this is another option because you can get your skills. It says 30% chance to reset your skills, basically instantly, and but it seems like it's higher than that. It depends on what skills you're using. Some skills proc more than others. I noticed that the Maltese and the single Seeker Mines seem to proc a lot. I mean, you can use the hardwired chest piece too to get the extra damage, but it would be kind of a cool Ninja backpack version. Now the one build that I'm currently working on right now is an Eclipse protocol. Or not Eclipse. Oh my god, I think it's ongoing directive actually is what I'm working on. Let me just make sure on that talent. I think I might have some ongoing on me, I don't know. Yeah, that's what so it's ongoing that I'm working on, because you get your weapon damage is amplified to 35%. I'm gonna try to put make a better version of. I've got a really good version that's yellow, but the Ninja backpack didn't exist then, and with ongoing directive, really, truly. You don't want to not have that backpack, to be honest. It'll be a different version of it, but it's not going to be as good as my other one. Let me see if I have a backpack. I'm pretty sure I do. It could be on one of my other characters, but I don't think so. I think I have one in here. Yeah, I do, right here. This is nothing special. All my good stuff's on my other characters. Like, all my good ongoing directive is on my other character. But the reason why I like the backpack so much on Ongoing Directive, and I suggest that people use it, is the talent, Trauma Specialist. It increases the duration of your bleed stats effects by 50%, bleed damage done by 100%. Definitely don't want to not use that. I know I see lots of people using Ongoing Directive without it. So this is how I built my other one too. So because I saw that talent, and I was thinking bleed, stats effects, let's turn this into a yellow. Let's turn this into a yellow build. So my goal was to find pieces, which I did, find pieces that were all rolled into status effects the way I wanted them to be. And then I rolled them into yellows. All 4 pieces. And I'm telling you, it hits like a dump truck. You can take it even one step further too. If you put it's just going to increase your bleed times. But if you have perpetuation on one of your weapons and you get a headshot, which is really easy to do in this game, unless you have a really shitty gun, that increases it even more. That'll increase your duration of your bleed by another 50%. And I think the damage is also increased by 50%. Yeah, which will give you a total of 150 for your damage. Now it's a one-time thing, right? So when you hit a headshot and it activates, and then you activate a bleed or whatever, you've got to wait. To do it again, you've got to wait. There's a little cooldown for it. Because I'm telling you, if there wasn't a cooldown for that, it would be really OP. Like really OP. Anyways, by using that backpack, I can get my bleed up to 16 seconds. Now, that's a pretty long bleed, considering the average bleed is like what, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 7.5 seconds, 8 seconds, something like that, maybe 9. With status effects, maybe 10. I have a status effects build that Eclipse Protocol. I think mine's like 11.2 or something like that on that one. And then when I throw my Ongoing Directive and I turn it into a yellow and I put that backpack on, it's like 16 seconds. It's all the way across the board too. It's not just for certain skills. It's all the way across the board. Anything that bleeds is going to be 16 seconds. So if you use the mortar turret, it's going to be a 16-second bleed. If you use Seeker Mine, 16-second bleed. Anything that causes bleed. Ridgeways, again. Now, in that particular case, you want to use a weapon with Sadis on it, obviously. Bleed, Sadis, they go hand in hand. Extra damage, might as well maximize it. So that's when you would want to make sure that you might want to invest in, or like you might want to use the chest piece with it as well, because the chest piece bumps the damage of the hollow point bullets up to 35%. It's almost like having, it's almost like getting a free damage buff with like Intimidate and Adrenaline Rush style. Only instead of getting the stacks built up like they did, like they fixed it up to be, it'll be instantly. But yeah, Ongoing Directive is perfect if you use both chest and backpack. Or you can try using it with a ninja backpack, but I mean, again, you're missing out on a lot of damage when you take it away. And I've seen a lot of people using this Ongoing Directive and they don't use the backpack. Don't use the backpack at all. Missing out on tons of damage. Now the reason why I went with a yellow Ongoing Directive when I made mine was, the status effect thing gets increased. and it works better as a yellow. When it comes to bleed, yellows, like having a skill tier is much better than having red. Plus you're more squishy. Well, I mean, you can deal with that. I haven't tried a blue version, but I mean, again, stats effects. Skill tiers help out with that. Kind of like your damage or your heals, right? Like when you go to your heals. Like I use the reinforcer when I usually. So it's telling me that my repair over time is 70,238. And that's because I have 2 skill tiers. If I took those skill tiers away, it would be like 45, maybe even 40. And then what I did was I had 2 weapons that I tested it with. I had a Sadist weapon, and then I had the I also test drove it with a capacitor as well. It worked with both. It worked with both really well. Obviously, the Sadist one's going to be better as far as damage goes, but when you want to add some skill damage to this build, that style of build, then yeah, the capacitor is great, and it still does a decent amount of damage because you have those yellow cores. Okay, so you're getting that. Okay. Do. I think that's what I'm going to try next. I'm going to try. I'm thinking on making a hardwired build with headshot damage. I'm going to have headshot damage all over the place with a hardwired build. I think it'd be funny being able to spam Seeker Mines and destroy people. Do like a mixture. What's this? What time does that say? Alright, what do we got here? What do I have on me? So this is what I'm currently running right now. This has nothing to do with... I got some really good weapon handling out of this. I've got like 40... Let me see, what do I got? What do I got? I got 61% weapon handling on this one. Which is great. All those guns that jump, because this gun really does jump a lot without anything. If I took the weapon handling off this, I would have like... It would just be like I'd be trying to control it and it would be all over the place. That wouldn't even be fair. Could you imagine? Okay, so could you imagine if this thing counted as two pieces? Like, so if I put one piece on there, it would be like, that'd be three pieces. Could you imagine? Like, could you imagine if you could mix and match? Is what I'm saying. If you could mix and match these two gear sets completely. That just wouldn't be fair. Because all the person would do is stack up their things, put a thing on, just one headshot, probably do like 50 million damage. It would be ridiculous. Or a True Patriot and Striker would be ridiculous as well. Completely, like fully. Being able to put the flag on somebody and having full Striker, yeah. That just wouldn't be right. They'd break the game with that. They would definitely break the game with that. Nemesis. Waveform. Ooh. Stinky old waveform, eh? People still use this thing?
Hey, over here.
I remember when I was making my hardwired build, and I saw the waveform, and I was trying to compare it to something else. Oh yeah, it's 30%. That's right. Yeah, some people still like it. I don't. I prefer to use a wyvern piece with skill damage already rolled onto it. Then I can get a consistent 20%. I might not get that 30% when it actually goes one way. But because it's rotating too much back and forth, you're never really getting a consistent flow. Whereas if I put 20% skill damage on one piece, yeah. But if I'm talking about one piece, I'm just comparing one to one, right? So that gives you 30% skill damage. But if I put a wyvern on with fully rolled skill damage, and when one piece equals skill damage as well, that's 20% right there, and it's going to be consistent, always. It's not going to fluctuate. Then from there I can just add what I want. Yes, I'm missing it on 10% skill damage that's going to rotate back and forth. But that's what I mean. It's rotating back and forth. So I'm only getting so much time with that much skill damage at a time, right? Before it switches to the other side. Whereas if I have one piece of wyvern on and I have 20% skill damage, logically to me, I see a consistency. Right? I don't know. I just don't like the inconsistency of it going back and forth like that. Like, it's great when it's on one side, but then when it starts going the other way, it's like, oh, that's garbage. Because now I'm losing 30% skill damage on that side for 10 seconds. Where, yeah, that's pretty, yeah, I like consistency. Whereas if I have my one piece of wyvern with 20%, I don't have to worry about, okay, this skill doesn't have 30% skill damage right now, I gotta wait until it goes back that way. I know that I'm constantly going to have that same damage, no matter what. That's why I stopped using it. I didn't think it was efficient enough. I think they need to retouch on that, actually, to be honest. I think they need to go back, look at the waveform, and maybe beef it up a little bit so that it's more consistent. Like, it's fine that it goes back and forth, but maybe make it 15 seconds or something. Like just a little longer. Because I find that it's just, by the time it gets to the one side, it almost feels like it's already going the other way. Or they need to do something like that. Anyways, I find more consistency in the one piece in that same spot as being a wyvern piece with skill damage already rolled on it. So you're getting 20%. I just like consistency. I gotta understand, I'm a chef. Okay, consistency is a thing for me. So when I came into this game and I started playing with waveform, and then I noticed that I could just put a wyvern piece there instead with 20% skill damage, I was like, that makes more sense. I mean, yeah, I'm sort of losing 10% skill damage, but really, yeah, you know what I mean? It's more consistent though. I mean, it's fun to use. I've used it. But if I'm going to like do some like massive PvE stuff, then yeah, I want to do the consistency thing, right? I don't want to go, oh crap, my Seeker Mines don't have any skill damage. They're not getting a skill damage boost right now. My other thing is. And it's like, oh no, I really want those Seeker Mines to have damage right now. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, anyways, about back to the original thing. The damage that you get with your turret and your drone when you pulse is not really skill damage. It's actually coming from this guy right here. It's coming from his talent. I've already isolated this right to a T. It is definitely perfect flatline, and I tried it on a machine gun as flatline, and sure enough, it still works. So therefore, I've come to the conclusion that the pulsing thing is because, like somebody said, you're getting skill damage from your Kingbreaker. No, you're not. You're getting damage from your Kingbreaker, but it's not true skill damage, and it's not very much. I even took the AR stuff off of my specialization to prove the point, right? It's just, because you get 15% when you put it on your, depending on which gun you use, right? So I took that off completely. I switched it to a different gun, like I think it was a shotgun I switched it to instead, so that I could, test it out and make sure that it wasn't that. Because I thought for sure maybe it could be like, because you're boosting the damage on that weapon, that's why it's doing that, but sure enough, it's not, because I took it off. And then I just used, instead of using the actual laser pointer on my Kingbreaker, I just used regular pulse. I didn't even aim the gun at all. And it was doing extra damage, which tells me it was doing a certain amount of damage, and then when I pulsed, it did more damage. So it did 8,000 more damage. And then so I put flatline on, and it was doing regular damage, and then I pulsed with flatline, and it did a little more. It did 6,000 more damage. So if we do the math, remember the Kingbreaker is 20%, flatline is only 15. It makes sense. That's how I was able to isolate that down into being the talent that's actually doing it. Kind of like the shock turret. When I figured out how to do the shock turret, I realized that armor on kill was awarding you armor for no reason, right? So if you put on like, you don't even have to put it on. If you put like the Hunter's Fury on, it gets armor on kill. You put System Corruption, it has armor on kill. If you switch to Gunner, it has armor on kill. All you have to do is put that on, injure yourself right here, and then throw a shock turret out, and it will heal you. The more armor on kill you have, the more it will heal you. But you're not actually killing the target, you're just shocking it. But the game thinks that you're killing it, so it's giving you armor on kill every time you shock somebody. Hunters is the best, right? Because Hunters gives you, I think, yeah, it's 20% armor on kill. Just for that. You don't need any more than that. That's plenty. That's plenty. But, yeah, no. And it still works, too. They were supposedly supposed to fix it. Maybe they'll fix it in 17.2. I'm going to test it when it comes out again to see if it does. But yeah, it's things like that, right? And I isolated that problem with that very quickly. I took it on every different angle there was until I figured it out. That's what it was doing. It was triggering it. Because then I took armor on kill off, and then I tried it, and it didn't heal me. So I was like, okay, now we know what it is. Now, Hunters also gives you 100% health on kill. So I thought, well, if armor on kill works, maybe health on kill will as well. So I completely injured myself until I had no health, no armor. Threw that shock turret out, boom, it completely healed my armor and health instantly. So when I find these weird things going on, I really dedicate the minutes to seeing how it's working and how it does it. Like, why is it doing this? Until I find the solution, I will keep doing it for these things. This, I know for a fact it's the talents, because I've tested it through and through. I've tested without just regular old weapons, like another AR that didn't have nothing on it. Nothing. No extra damage. Put weapons on that had flatline on it, and they still weren't a part of my thing. Boom. There's extra damage. So there you go. Problem solved. It's not major. Like, it's not like you're getting tons of stuff from it. But it gives you a little extra damage. And it's coming from the talent. It's almost like it's giving you 20% weapon damage on your skills, if that makes sense. It's really weird. But you're not seeing those kind of numbers, though. That's the difference. It's definitely like I said when I was comparing it. I said it's like comparing sugar to sweeteners. One's real, one's not, right? In the case of the Kingbreaker giving damage, yes, it gives you a little bit of extra damage, but it's not the real deal. It's not really skill build. It's not really skill damage, so it's not the real deal. If you're using the capacitor, that's the real deal. You're getting real skill damage from that. I even tried it with that as well. Like, I used a weapon to pulse, or I used a thing to pulse, and I tried it with my capacitor. No, it doesn't give me extra. This is definitely a flatline, perfect flatline thing. I went at this at every angle the other night. Because I've had that thing for a while. That's been, I just think it's funny. When I see certain things, I gotta say something, you know? Like, I gotta comment on it. Time is it? 12:46. Let me look at my phone and see what I gotta do. The to-do list. Hold on. No, we're not. Jeez, look at this shit. I don't, what the hell? What's the date today? She's got big dreams here. I'm just looking at my thing here. Big dreams. Alright. Sorry, I just want to share that with you guys. I'm going to get off here and get some stuff done so I don't get in trouble. I'll be back later, guys.